Listen, I don't want any more bullshit.
What shit? The checkbooks have opened. Day one of free agency just ended. Let the hype begin. Let the overreactions rage. Let the pundits act like they know what the fuck they're talking about. And especially, let the bullshit begin. And it's all rolling. Meanwhile, Big Dick Ballard sits back cool, calm, and collected and waits to make his pimp move. And let me tell you why. I'm going to put you on game. It's pretty fucking simple. You can either be a pimp in free agency or you can be a trick. If you want to be a trick, you can just go watch the other teams that overpaid today. But if you want to be a pimp, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how Ballard does it. I'm going to put you on game, all right? And I'm going to do it right fucking now. But first, as always, I want to welcome you, my friend, back, or if it's your first time here, welcome you to the world's #1 uncensored Colts podcast, the one and only, the completely unique, world's famous bullshit-free Colts podcast. I'm your host, Harkan Ajala, a.k.a. the Bad Boy Genius, at your motherfucking service as always. And today, my friend, we're going to chop up the first day of free agency, and we're going to break down and separate the signal from the noise. Fuck all that bullshit you've been reading on Twitter from people who say they know and don't know. I'm going to show you why Big Dick Chris Ballard sat back and watched it all happen laughing. I'm going to show you the method behind his madness. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to pimp free agency 101. Now, I mean, speaking of pimps, if you're listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, use a pimp. So I want you to take your pimp ass finger very quickly and I want you to smash the like button below. That will help us quite a bit, though it's free to you, because it will help the algorithm share this podcast with other real deal Colts fans out there who want the real shit, not the shill shit, like yourself. All right? So make sure you like this video now. Make sure you share it with people who would enjoy it like yourself, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And last but not least, before we dive into it, there are 3 ways you can donate to us. I ask you, if you enjoy what we're doing, if you feel like this is a service to you, it's valuable, and you're with me, I want you to take a second now and click one of those 3 ways you can donate below. Just send your man $20, $15, $10, $5. Even $1 will help us continue to create the kind of content that you motherfuckers tell me you want. All right? So help us out with that. Let's dive into this shit. Head first, full stop, and straight no chaser. Or another way to say that you all know, let's chop it the fuck up. So, man, first day of free agency today, and here we are, the first year in like 10 to 20 years that the fucking salary cap in the NFL actually went down like $16 million. You got all these teams over the cap, scrambling, trying to just get under the cap. And we all expect, or at least you heard a lot of people say, oh, you know, it's going to be, won't be as crazy this year. Teams will be more reserved and conservative and more careful. And I'll be goddamn, it was a fucking wild first day. I mean, fucking New England went out of their fucking bonkers mind in the first couple of hours. But, you know, we've been talking a lot about edge rusher. As Colts fans, we know edge rusher is a key and critical area that the Colts have to upgrade if they want to contend for the Super Bowl next year. And there are a lot of edge rushers who were on the market this year. I did a whole video about it. I suggest you go back and take a look at it. But let's just look at some of the edge rushers who were signed today. First and foremost, you had Shaq Barrett, who was re-signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers some fucking how. Actually, they just kicked the can down the line longer. I mean, this is what you have to do if you're going to play that game that way with the salary cap. So the Bucs actually re-signed their own free agent, Shaq Barrett, the best edge rusher all around on the market. They re-signed him to a 4-year, $68 million deal that includes $36 million guaranteed. He can earn an extra $1 million per year. He's got some sack and playoff escalators in there. Personally, this kind of surprised me, but in a way, but not really. I mean, Shaq gave them a discount, quite frankly. You know, that only averages out to about $17 million per year, and he probably could have gotten more than that on the free agent market, but I'm not mad at him. He wanted to go back there. He liked it there, and he feels like he has another chance to win a Super Bowl. So I'm not mad at him. But and this proves a point, though, I'm going to revisit later on in this podcast. Understand that the best free agents, the true game changers, almost never actually hit the free market. The teams do what they have to do to keep them. Now remember, we kind of have to add in here that J.J. Watt signed a 2-year, $31 million deal with the Cardinals. That's almost $16 million a year for his old ass, and he really did nothing last year. The Rams give Leonard Floyd a 4-year, $64 million contract to keep him. This is risky. A lot of people don't believe Floyd was worth it, but again, the Rams did what they had to do. They are going to be in salary cap hell for a long time, but it is what it is. They think it's their chance, so they're going for it. Yannick Ngakoue goes to the Raiders, 2 years for $26 million, $13 million per year. I thought that was the best deal, to be honest with you. That's kind of a steal based on, the talent and the potential Yannick Ngakoue has. For just 2 years, $13 million per. That's a really good deal. The Jets signed Carl Lawson from the Bengals. He gets like 3 or 4 years, like $16 million per. The Titans signed Bud Dupree. He gets like 13, 14, 15 million, maybe 16 million per year. And this is a guy who tore his fucking ACL at the end of last year. He may not even play this year. They give him this money. Trey Hendrickson, a guy I really liked. I thought would be a great fit for the Colts if he was a value signing for 11, 12, maybe 13 million. But instead, nope. The Bengals, who let Carl Lawson go to the Jets, they turn around and sign Trey Hendrickson for $60 fucking million for 4 years. So they give him $15 million per year. This is a guy who only had like 3 sacks in his first 3 years. He had a great season last year. I thought he flashed on the film, but this is a big risk and a definite overpay for a guy who might have just been cleaning up a lot of shit. Now, man, I would have liked to see him for the Colts, but not for that. It's a big overpay. The fucking Patriots of all teams, they give Matt Judon $56 million over 4 years. They give this guy $14 million per year. The dude had 6 sacks last season. And again, it's not that that's the only number that counts, but if you go back to my video, I went over this. Judon would have been a decent signing at a, very valuable value signing, very cap-friendly number, not $14 fucking million per year. This guy is 28. He didn't even have as many sacks as fucking Justin Houston last season. And remember, he's playing on that beast of a defense in Baltimore. He was. The Jets give Carl Lawson $15 million per year? It's fucking insane. Free agency makes GMs fucking insane. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars went out and signed fucking Philip Dorsett, for Christ's sake. I mean, did Urban Meyer watching this fucking guy's tape? This guy couldn't catching passes from Andrew Luck and Tom Brady. You think you can bring him down there, he's going to flash with your rookie? What the fuck? But that's free agency, especially on that first day. It works exactly like a casino. Somebody signs somebody, then another team signs somebody else, and all of a sudden the frenzy starts because FOMO kicks in, fear of missing out. These people are human beings, and you get general managers like, yo, fuck, we got to do something. We better jump on this other guy before they're all gone. And before you know it, you've got multiple motherfuckers getting way overpaid. Before you know it, you got a guy who tore his ACL at the end of last season or near the end of last season, may not even play this year, and you're handing him $15, $16 million per season. And while all this was happening, I was monitoring Twitter here and there, and all I saw were Colts fans talking about Ballard shit the bed, and I'm so tired of this, and this is why we can't do this. Every year is the same shit. He's too cheap. He never wants to swing. Let's jump into why Ballard does what he does. We've already talked about how to be a trick in free agency. I just showed you overpay for guys who probably will not live up to the contract. If you want to be a pimp in free agency, You got to think and act like a pimp. That means logic, facts, reason, not emotion. Okay? Your actions have to be driven by logic, by the value of the player, the actual value, not emotion. For those of you out there who are economic buffs like myself, you probably have heard of winner's curse. Basically what it says is when you get about 5 people who are bidding on something, the median bid is going to probably be about the actual value of that asset they're bidding on, meaning that the winner is going to be cursed to always overpay because the amount of people bidding drives up the price above the value. There's really no way around that, and that's exactly what you see in the NFL free agency, especially on that first day. Now, when we start talking about being a pimp and explaining why Ballard acts the way he acts in free agency, let me give you 2 quotes, one from Ballard and one from Hall of Famer GM, the great Bill Polian. Chris Ballard says, free agency is where B players get A player money and C players get B player money. And Bill Polian said famously, we don't mind paying outstanding player money for an outstanding player. What we're not going to do is pay outstanding player money for a good player. And that's what happens when you trick yourself out in free agency. If you're going to be a pimp, you got to roll like Ballard does. It's not that he won't spend or that you have some hard, fast rule that I just don't spend on the first day. That's not it. The hard, fast rule is I don't go above the value I have assigned for a player, no matter what time, what day it is, or what the situation. We do not act out of frustration and desperation. So if you're a Colts fan and you're watching the number, you're in the fucking casino and you're watching, listening to the jackpots spinning, and you're hearing people going, I won. And you're like, God damn, I want to yell, I won. Well, let me just tell you something. Super Bowl contenders, Super Bowl winners, they don't fucking win the free agency media game, okay? They're not worried about winning the media awards on the first day of free agency. They're not worried about winning the fans getting excited over a free agent signing. When you gamble, you don't win when you put your fucking money on the table. You don't win when you make the bet. You only win if the bet hits and it pays off for you. You feel me? Think about this. The Tennessee Titans signed Colts free agent Dakich, a really strong player. I love the guy. They signed him for 3 years, $21 million, about $7 million per year. And the Colts actually, tried to get in and match that, but apparently Tennessee was offering more guaranteed money to Dakich. I do not fault Dakich. Take that money where you can get it, bro. But remember this. When you're getting all upset and thinking, what the fuck is Ballard doing? Remember that 3 years ago, there wasn't nobody fucking giving a ticker tape parade when Ballard signed Dakich 2 or 3 days after free agency started. You know what people were saying? Oh, here goes Ballard again with the fucking bargain basement shopping. 3 years later and 20 sacks later, now you have another team that's coming after Dakich on the first day of free agency. See, that's winning. Remember last year when Ballard signed Xavier Rhodes? People were like, oh my God, this fucking guy, here goes Ballard again. Shopping at the goddamn Kmart of free agency. Shopping at the Dollar Tree of free agency. Getting these washed up guys because they're cheap. And yet look what happened with Xavier Rhodes. He came in here and had one of the best years of his career and is now considered one of the top cornerbacks on the free agent market. Hopefully he's coming back to Indianapolis. But if he doesn't, it'll be because somebody else is willing to pay him over the value. See, the pimp gets the players for under their value. The trick pays over their value. You with me? So here's what Ballard's going to do, and here's what you should want him to do. Here's how he's going to pimp free agency once again. He's going to stick to the valuations and the analysis that he and his team have made on the free agent players that they like. And after all the suckers and the tricks have blown their wads overpaying, he's going to come in and he's going to do what all pimps do, what all bosses do, what all great investors do, and that's to get value in his investments. You see, the wealthiest investors, the boss investors, you buy low and sell high, not the other way around. He's going to go out with his team and he's going to find the next Xavier Rhodes, the next Denitro Autry, that, maybe other people are going to be like, oh my God, this is bullshit. This is bargain basement. These aren't big splash signings. And these are going to be guys that are going to come in and help his team take another step forward, make his team better, and do it at a value, meaning below market value, which sets you up to do the same thing again next year, but also to be in position once again, like pimps do, like bosses do, like the best investors do, like people who get wealthy do, to be in position to have the chips so that when an investment comes along that can pay off in spades, give you a huge return where you can hit a home run on, you got the chips and the ability to dive into it and never look back. And see whether it's in free agency or if it's in a trade. Remember, people say, oh, this guy won't ever trade. He values his draft picks too much. But last year, he gave away a first-round pick, and not just any first-round pick. It wasn't even a late first-round pick. This is a pick number 13. This is 3 spots out of the top 10. He traded that pick away straight up for DeForest Buckner, and then gave DeForest Buckner a 4-year, $80+ million contract. That's $20 million per. But you see, he did that for a player who, after you watched him this season, you say, shit, Ballard got over on that. $20 million is a bargain. A 13th first-round pick overall was a bargain. That's how you pimp the game in the NFL. And if you're sitting there saying, yeah, whatever, bullshit, if you're sitting there doubting what I'm saying, well, let's just take a look back at last year's big splashy free agent signings. Let's just take a look back and see if they paid off. The Cowboys, they re-signed Amari Cooper, free agent wide receiver, $100 million for 5 years. How'd that work out for him? Did it help him? Did it move the needle for him? Chargers signed Chris Harris, cornerback, $20 million for 2 years. Didn't really help him great. Jadeveon Clowney, big splashy name. He didn't do shit at Tennessee last year. You with me? Remember, the Dolphins went out and they made a huge signing. They signed Kyle Van Noy, $51 million for 4 years. They just cut this dude after a year because he wasn't playing up to the contract. Trust me, all the fan bases of those teams were raising the roof and talking shit and giving each other reach-arounds on Twitter after those signings. This shit didn't amount to anything except hype. Understand, my dude, understand, my girl, that a lot of these teams, the purpose of their free agent signings is not what you think it is. It isn't about winning for some of these teams. It's about generating excitement to put asses in the seats, to keep their fan bases wanting to come to the games, to keep their fan bases engaged, to keep their fan bases buying jerseys and hats and merchandise. You with me? It ain't always about, we know this person's going to help us win or make us better. There are some teams that are just out there fucking trying to win the fucking free agency race. You with me? The Colts are a true Super Bowl contender in the making. That's what our goal is. So who gives a shit what people think about the names? It ain't about the names. It's about, can you get the players that can make your team better and help take you where you want to go and make it all fit in your salary cap and your salary cap plan, and also leave room for you to do the shit that's most important, sign the free agents that's most important, which is going to be game changers, game wreckers, game breakers that are already in your building. Like the maniac Darius Leonard, like Quentin Nelson, who's going to break the fucking bank. After, I don't know, somebody gave the ex-Patriots guard like $50 million for 4 years or some shit like that? Like Braden Smith, who's going to need to be re-signed here soon. So you got to keep that stuff in mind. I mean, would you rather have fucking Yannick Ngakoue and have to let go of Darius Leonard? You want to give up Quentin Nelson so you can hoop and holler for a couple of weeks because you signed Carl Lawson? That ain't it, Chief. That ain't how you win. That ain't how you win rings in this game. So the next time you're ready to start hyperventilating because you're watching these overpaid free agent motherfuckers going off the board to these trick-ass teams, don't panic. Pause, baby. Pause. We're not trying to be tricks in free agency. We're trying to be pimps in free agency. As the great Denzel Washington said, a.k.a. Lonzo, it's chess, baby. It ain't fucking checkers. We're not trying to win the press conference. We're trying to win the ring. So I'm eager to hear what y'all have to say about this, how you feeling about it. If you disagree, let a brother know in the comments. If you think I hit it on the head and you with me, let a brother know in the comments. Either way, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody who's listening, watching, and I appreciate all of you who have been supporting and giving us donations. Much appreciate the love. I'm going to leave you the way I leave any Colts players, Colts coaches, Colts front office that listen and watch, because I know some of y'all do. Let's go out. Let's pimp free agency, not be a trick, and let's win another fucking Lombardi, baby. Peace. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby.